Originally poem by Carol Ann Duffy. Originally by Carol Ann Duffy is a 3-stanza poem which is divided into sets of 8 lines. The stanzas do not follow a specific rhyme scheme, nor do they contain one overpowering technique. Duffy makes use of a number of different ways of contrasting images in her readers' minds. Originally by Carol Ann Duffy, describes a child transformation after emigrating to a new country. The poem begins with the speaker describing a car ride that took her and her family from their home country to a new one. They were all jammed together and thinking the same thoughts, that they wanted to go home. That was not possible, though, as the place they loved was many miles in the past and the vacant. It was home no longer. In the second stanza, the speaker has started to become a part of her new settings, but is still frightened by the voices and the actions of the people around her. She does not know how to contend with the boys who seems grow up, or with her parents' anxieties. The final stanza, she describes what it was like to lose her original accent and begin to sound like the other students. She also speaks on all the things she knows she has lost since coming to this new country and the questions she still has about her identity. Analysis of the poem. Stanza 1. We came from our own country in a red room which fell through the fields, our mothers singing our father's name to the turn of the wheels. My brothers cried, one of them bowling home as the miles rushed back to the city. The street, the house, the vacant rooms where we didn't live anymore. I started at the eyes of a blind toy holding its bow. In the first stanza, the speaker begins by letting the reader know that she is traveling with a group of people. These events are not happening in the present moment, they are being recalled at a later time. All the same, this first stanza seems to be more confined to the moments of the present than to the following two sections. The speaker describes the family traveling together as being within a red room. While this phrase seems strange and out of context, but as one continues through these sections, it becomes clear that it is in reference to the car they are driving. It has come to be much more than a car. They have spent so much time in it with all of their possessions. It is as if they live there. The mother and father are struggling with this journey just as much as the children are. He is driving and she is singing to the turn of the wheels. The mother is constantly telling him what to do, where to go. On the top of this, the speaker's brothers are crying. One of them is truly bawling. She sees them all as feeling the same way. Their thoughts are cast back to the place they came from, home. It's many miles away by now. Back in the city, they used to live on a street and in a house that is now vacant. It seems as if the family is moving unwillingly, or at least that the kids are. The speaker is quite young at this time and is not crying like her brothers, but contemplating what is happening while starting at a stuffed animal toy which has lost its eyes. She holds its hand for comfort. Stanza 2. All childhood is an emigration. Some are slow, leaving you standing resigned up an avenue where no one you know stays. Others are sudden, you were ascend wrong corners which seem familiar, leading to unimagined bubble dashed estates, big toys, eating worms, and shouting words. You don't understand my parents' anxiety stride like a loose tooth in my head. I want our own country, I said. In the second stanza, the speaker is clearly much older. She is looking back on the times of her childhood in which she felt like an emigrant. She sees childhood as being one big constant emigration in which one is forced from one situation to another and is made to learn and relearn the culture and customs. Some of these movements of emigrations are slow and leave one feeling resigned. Others are sudden and provide no time for preparation. No matter what type of emigration it is, it always leaves one with the wrong assumption and without an understanding of the familiar. Nothing is comforting and everything seems to be out of place. It's easy for one, especially a child, to get lost physically and mentally. When growing up in different places, a child would also be comforted with big boys eating worms, something quite intimidating, and the sounds of shouted words that are not understood. The speaker continues on to state that in her situation, her parents were always anxious and that their anxiety was transferred to her. She never stopped wanting to go back to her own country. Stanza 3. But then you forget or don't recall or change, and seeing your brother swallow a slug, feel only a gulp of shame. I remember my tongue shedding its skin like a snake, my voice in the classroom sounding just like the rest. Do I only think I lost a river culture, speech, sense of first space and the right place? Now, where do you come from? Strangers ask originally, and I hesitate. Stanza 3. In the final section of the poem, the speaker is explaining what it means to become accustomed to a new home and culture. Eventually, one forgets the past and all the other places they have called home. A transformation takes place. This process is something the speaker is easily able to recall. She remembers forcing herself to speak in a new accent and how it felt like her tongue shedding its skin like a snake. She finally heard her own voice become identical to those in her classroom. Now she has grown up and long since moved past the childish fears of a new place. There is still something out of place in her identity, though. She knows how much she has lost from her past, and when she is asked, "Where do you come from?" she doesn't know how to answer. Should she lay claim to her birthplace or maintain her new identity to which she has become so accustomed.